After a small hiatus, the Sideshow is back with a brand new season, and today we're diving into Better Call Saul. It's just boys being boys talking about a show. It'll be good.
I mean, am I still Terry or am I Jimmy now? Or are you Jimmy?
I'm Glenn.
You're Glenn? Oh, that makes more sense. You look like a Glenn.
Who are you gonna call? Saul. That's who we're calling. Okay,
Exactly.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Almost Sideshow. My name is Adam. That is Terry. We are diving into Better Call Saul. I want to say breaking down Better Call Saul, but it doesn't have that. We'll find that rhythm soon. But
You'll find it. You'll find it.
We're back in New Mexico / Nebraska / wherever McGill is at. But we're going into Better Call Saul. Our first time watches, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Nice. It's going to be a fun episode. The season 1, episode 1, titled Uno. Right. Fitting.
Mm-hmm. It is. Yeah. Season 5 of the Sideshow. We've done a few of these. We started season 1 was Band of Brothers. Season 2 was all about Barry. Season 3, we did Breaking Bad.
We broke down Breaking Bad.
We broke down Breaking Bad. And do I say it was
tight, yeah.
It was.
Tights, yeah.
Yes. And then season 4, just a little short, throw in the Penguin in there.
That's why
But yeah, now we're going to Better Call Saul. This is I think this is like a throwback because it's something that's already done. It's completed, kind of like it was with Breaking Bad. But like you said, it's a first time watch for us. So I think that's a first where we're going back to something that none of us have seen. And I know Todd's seen it. Todd's a huge fan of it. I'm sure he'll pop on here and there to talk with us about it. I'm excited because it's back in the Breaking Bad world, but not at the same time. It's going to be fun. Shall we dive in? Let's dive in.
Yeah.
Let's Better Call Saul this. All right.
Call Saul. Who are we going to call? Saul. Let's go.
There it is. All right. Better Call Saul. Ha! Better Call Saul. Season 1, episode 1 is entitled Uno. Adam, when did this one air?
Yes, it did.
It did.
That's the one.
You're supposed to have that ready to go, dude.
You've been out of the game for a couple months now.
This is what happens when we take a break, is we forget. Here, I got it here. It originally aired February 8th, 2015.
So almost 10 years ago.
Almost exactly 10 years from when we were recording this. That is fascinating. All right, here we go. Here's our synopsis. Is Better Call Saul a spin-off sequel or prequel of Breaking Bad? Well, at least to start, it feels like both. Last we saw Saul Goodman in Breaking Bad, he was getting ready to disappear thanks to our friend the Hoover salesman. We open Better Call Saul with him disappeared, living a lonely life as a Cinnabon manager at a mall in Omaha, just like he said he would. He lives alone. He constantly looks over his shoulder, and he longingly watches an old VHS of his legendary commercials. Better Call Saul. Then the black and white fades to color as we jump into the prequel part. Meet Jimmy McGill, an ambulance chasing lawyer scraping by on public defense cases. He doesn't win many cases, but he gets paid regardless. His office is in the laundry room of a nail salon. He's trying. His brother Chuck is an accomplished lawyer, but he currently can't leave his house with a condition that might be all in his head. Jimmy is trying to keep the two of them afloat by cashing out Chuck's share of his law firm, but Chuck won't allow it. He's going to get better and he'll be back. After the Hamlin, and McGill people steal one of Jimmy's clients, they tell him to no longer advertise with his name in case of confusion. They don't want to associate the small-time lawyer with the big-time law firm. Chuck tells Jimmy to make his own name for himself. So he gives it a shot and goes back and finds some acquaintances he met forcibly with his car who specialize in accidents so they can make some money. He decides to set up this traitor client he almost had. Skateboarder gets hit by the car. and the car drives away. Somewhat shocked, the skateboarders follow the car, where a Latino woman emerges, not the right driver. They begin demanding payment for their injuries. When she can't speak any English, they go inside. Jimmy is hot on their tail, trying to find them. When he spots the damaged car, he knocks on the door, claiming to be the skateboarder's lawyer. Instead, he is met with a gun, held by one Tuco Salamanca.
Oh,
Yeah.
tight, yeah.
Yeah,
And
he
then
is.
I knew we were back.
And then I knew we were back. Exactly.
Well, also validation of your parking. You need to be validated.
Validate your parking.
One more sticker.
You need another sticker.
It's $3. Employee of the month over here. All right. Better Call Saul kicks off really awesome. I think I did hear that there's several forwards and backwards and upside downs of the show, which is going to keep it interesting and keep it a little fresh and not such a linear story. I think there will probably be some linear storytelling in this, of course, but we feel like we're kind of back in that world, but the kind of the Better Call Saul world, because of the Breaking Bad show, because every time Saul was on the show, it had a different kind of momentum, a different type of beat. It felt like sometimes it still felt grounded in that reality of Breaking Bad, but there was a little more chaoticness with the Saul character. So it feels like we're a part of that world, just expanded upon a little bit. So I like that. It feels good to be back. Seeing the little throwbacks of Mike and Tuco. I dug it. I'm excited to see those characters. Those are some of our favorite characters of the show. Of two characters that all three of these characters got highly drafted in our Breaking Bad draft. So that's pretty awesome. And then this story with these two scammer skateboarders. Yeah, I don't know about these characters. They look like Walter Jr.'s friends, just way too old for the age they're trying to go for. And then those three bozos or knuckleheads at the beginning too. Wow, that was a turn. I was not expecting that opening trial to go, but I think that's a great scene. Yeah, this is a fun start to the show. I'm excited to be back in the world. Whenever we start a new show, especially how many seasons, it's a little daunting at first, but it feels like riding a bike. We're back.
Yeah, it's a great start. It's interesting because you're taking someone who was a great side character and you're making him the focal point. That rarely works well. True. I mean, what are we talking, like Saul Goodman and Fraser Crane? Like, this isn't something that happens where you can take like the perfect side supporting guy and turn him into the lead and it works. But not every time that happens, you have Bob Odenkirk. He is just such a dynamic guy, and he brings this character to life in such a fascinating way. He gives it so much nuance, even in the little bit that we have here, whether it's, the black and white. And I love how it distinguishes what time period you're in by the color, right? Mm-hmm. We were black and white when we were post Breaking Bad, and we're in color when we're pre Breaking Bad. And it kind of helps delineate a little bit. Where am I? What am I doing? What's going on? And yeah, Bob Odenkirk is one of those guys. You never thought that he would have this in him, right? He's got this gruff exterior. He's a comedian. I mean, he got his start writing for Conan, and now he's got this heart to him too. Right on top of that gruffness, and he shows it right here. There's so much cool stuff, and it's starting something new, but at the same time, it's like we're starting something new, but it's more like I just got a new bike, because it is in a world we know. There are some characters we know. There are a couple moments where it's almost like winking at the camera, right? Mike popping up to validate the parking. It's kind of like a little, yep, just reminding you, this is the Breaking Bad world. Tuco popping out, which is cool. At the same time, I hope it doesn't do that just for effect. Yeah,
Beat you over the head with it.
Yeah, beat you over the head with it. Of just like, let's show you what other cameo we can pull out of our butts. I don't think it's necessarily doing that here. I mean, we're jumping in, and at the end of the first episode, Tuco is becoming a major plot point. So that's something that's going to be kind of cool to see and see where it goes with that. But yeah, it put a smile on my face. It's Jimmy, but it's Saul, and it's all right back in the ABQ, and seeing what's going to happen next. I love it.
Yeah. Baskin Robbins may not find out, but Cinnabon probably will too.
Well, Cinnabon hasn't found out yet, so
not yet. So not as good.
Baskin Robbins does always find out.
Baskin Robbins, yeah, not Cinnabon. Good for Christmas though. All right, it's great. It's good to be back. I'm excited. I don't want to be, I think that this is one thing I was worried about the Penguin. I'll be completely honest, don't want to have all these different cameos and appearances. Like, oh, remember this guy from this, even though it's just based off a movie that we watched a while back. But I think this is going to have a good blend. I think I haven't been disappointed with Vince Gilligan yet, so I'm excited for this. So, all right, where do you want to start for our categories?
One last thing, kind of going with that and comparing it to Penguin. That's an interesting thing I hadn't thought of. You have the Penguin, where we jumped in, and I don't think either of us had seen the Batman recently.
Not recently.
And it jumped in thinking you probably just watched the Batman. It could have been 10 years since you finished Breaking Bad. It kind of just settles you in and takes it nice and slow. And this is a new story. This is a new plot. We're not going to jump in like it's a sequel or any. I mean, yeah, you might need to remember the reference that Saul is in Omaha running a Cinnabon now, and that's what's going on. But you probably need to watch Breaking Bad to understand everything. But there's it takes it a little more easy on you and actually sets up what's going on.
Yeah,
probably because we've got a whole bunch of this where we only had 8 episodes of the Penguin. Okay. Sure. Let's jump in. We've got our typical categories that we normally do. I have some others that we might throw out there and see how they go and see if they stick. Mm-hmm. First one, though, as always, what's the best scene of this episode?
Opening courtroom trial. Now remember, you're better than this. Boys are going to be boys. These knuckleheads, trespass. It's a little bit of a reach. They're open, to the public night and day.
It's open to the public night and day.
Yeah. Trespass, criminal trespass. I don't know. A little bit of reach, right?
I love how he builds that case, and you have no idea what he's talking about. The moment of that scene, though, is the prosecutor just get up and just walks over and wheels the cart over and just hits play. Like, this is all you need.
They're like, what are they doing? And they're like, oh, they're sawing a guy's head off.
They're cutting up a cadaver. Oh my word.
Yeah. And they're like, and then it cuts back to like $700. No, it's supposed to be per person. It's like, no, per trial. No, defendant, ant. He's like, yeah, I was helping them out. Like, they went to jail. It's like, well, they had sex with a head. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, yeah.
Part of it too. The nuance of the back. Like, there's a guy that clearly stands up first and walks to the side where he can see the TV better from the courthouse, and then all of a sudden the whole courtroom starts walking to the one side so they can see the TV. It's great. I bet you've done that, like strolling with the TV once. Like, okay, it's time to watch the movie, class. I bet
at one point I may have done that. Yeah. But I love also, you've just got the look of defeat on Jimmy's face when as soon as play gets hit, he's just like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why muck up a good trial with the facts? I mean, and he pumped himself up for that.
He pre-gamed it in the bathroom.
That opening argument. Oh man, that was good. That was a really good one.
It's better than that. Yeah.
Came out with a bang. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna say my favorite was I had two written down, but Sad Saul at the beginning. Just like
That's that.
everything along with that, even just like the guy who appears to be staring at him and how it's kind of freaking him out, and then he just passes right by. We had to go and look at the drink he was drinking. He was drinking, I think it was called Drambuie
Mm.
and Doers with a splash of lemon juice. We may need to figure out what that drink is and have it at some point. Like,
Good call. I didn't dive into that, but that's a good one.
Drambuie. I've never heard of that. I know what Doers is, but Drambuie and Doers with a splash of lemon juice.
I've heard of lemon juice.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
I would be
that's
concerned if you
3/4.
hadn't.
Yeah, that's like the third of the battle of knowing what that drink
Mhm.
is. Yeah.
So yeah, I like that scene. I also liked getting to know the dynamic between Jimmy and Chuck was good too.
Mhm.
And Chuck being the success, but also having these personal issues. And now him trying to counsel Jimmy and bring him along and help him be his own thing. And I mean, it's Michael McKean. Like, how can you be upset when you got Michael McKean doing the work for you?
Mhm.
So that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool too.
I like that. Yeah, that's a
All right.
good one.
We follow that up always with the douchebag award. Mine goes back to what we already talked about. It's the three defendants. Because what are you doing? I also say douchebag is whoever advised Jimmy into them being tried together. So he lost out on an extra $1,400.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a
Mhm.
good point. I know those kids can go down for stickman technically, but
Technically. Yeah.
not great ones. Not great ones. Low hanging fruit. Betsy and Craig maybe, but I think I'm gonna go with HHM. Harlan, yeah, Hamlin, and McGill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those guys could be douchebags there. Maybe not McGill, but they're making them change their name. And that one Hamlin guy become what's his name? Howard Hamlin or whatever. Yeah, Howard Hamlin. Kind of douchey.
He's my stick man.
Yeah, he's definitely a stick man though, but
he's got some definite Beneke vibes to him.
Yeah. Todd would probably say, yeah, he's banging his secretary. He would appreciate that I said that.
You know who's not doing that is the non-existent Jimmy McGill's secretary.
Yeah, that's
which,
true.
as we were watching, and he has that scene where he's talking on the phone as his secretary. My wife looks at me and says, "He sounds like Mrs. Doubtfire." He totally does. He totally does.
Doubtfire, my dear. Doubtfire.
Oh, do you want to meet at the diner? Oh, we can. That's a great place for us to meet.
Well, they poisoned the bastard. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's go. The best new face of the episode. There's a lot. I mean, they're all new faces.
All of them.
Yes, but this usually goes to someone that we may recognize from something else.
All right. So
that would not be Breaking Bad related.
How about if I thought they were somebody and they weren't who I thought they were at first?
Go ahead, talk about the bailiff.
No.
Oh, okay. I'll talk about him later.
Hal and Lars Lindholm, the skateboarder scamblers.
Oh,
I honestly thought that was Thomas Middleditch at first when he.
Oh yes, I could see that.
He looks like at first he's like the first time you see him, it's like, is that Thomas Middleditch? That's kind of cool. I was like, oh, that's not that guy.
I could see that. Yeah. I like that. All right, my pick
so it's
for
a swing and a
best
miss for that, but
yeah, I mean it works. My pick for best new face is Rhea Seehorn as Kim
Cool.
Wexler.
Yeah.
I get the feeling she's going to be I think she becomes a major part of this. Yeah, she's in almost every episode.
Who is that one?
But she's the blonde at Hamlin and McGill that he shares a cigarette with in the parking garage.
Yeah.
And I knew I've heard her name.
Who fixes the trash can?
Yeah, she fixes the trash can. I've heard her name in relation to this. Like, it was like a big thing. Like, how did she never win an Emmy or anything for this? Because she's apparently amazing in that. But I'm looking, I'm like, I know that face though, and it's not from this. And so I had to go look, and I found it. I was a big fan of the show Franklin and Bash with Mark Paul Gosselaar and Breckin Meyer. She's in 11 episodes of Franklin and Bash, basically playing the same character, the stiff, uptight lawyer in the big law firm that doesn't like the bumbling idiots. That's what she plays in Franklin and Bash. And that's kind of how she comes across, at least at first here. So once I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's why I know her face. Because it's not the first time I've seen her play an uptight, big corporate lawyer.
Yeah. So that's like that in The Office, I think, is your most quoted. Like, you talk about those two TV shows the most on our podcast. That's like your Boy Meets World.
No one has seen Franklin and Bash. And this is the funny thing. Todd and I talk about this because Franklin and Bash came out at like almost the exact same week as Suits. And Todd started watching Suits, and I started watching Franklin and Bash. And Franklin and Bash lasted like, I think it was like 3 or 4 seasons, and then it was done. And now Suits is like this whole other thing, and a borderline princess is the star of it now. But Franklin and Bash, I mean, like I said, you got Mark Paul Gosselaar, you got Breckin Meyer. It was the first time I ever saw Kumail Nanjiani. He was on that before he was on Silicon Valley or anything like that. He was a random supporting guy there. It was a great show. Malcolm McDowell is one of the main characters in it. Yeah, like it was a cool show. It was a cool show. But yeah, no, Rhea Seehorn was on there. So that's nice. Where I recognize her from. I was like, that's what it is. All right, minor character of the episode, and I'm going first because I had a moment like you had, and it was with the bailiff, played by Lonnie Lane. Because he pops up and he goes and he's the one that goes and finds Jimmy in the bathroom rehearsing his opening argument.
His impeccable speech.
Yeah, and you think, and while the whole courtroom is waiting for him, and he calls for the bailiff to go do it, and he gets up and like, is this Huel's uncle? Brother? I mean, he's built exactly the same. Down to the head being 3 sizes too small for the body.
And
like this is Lonnie Lane plays the bailiff. Nice. And I'm looking here, like he look like if you were to put Huel, what was the actor's name? Like Lavelle Campbell, I think is his name.
Something like that, yeah.
If you were to put him like in an AI aging app and say age him 50 years, he looked like Lonnie Lane. Like go look at the pictures that are posted of this guy on IMDb. It's
I kind of want to see Huel and this guy go like do that Spider-Man pose, like just point at each other. What?
Like what I watch it like, and my wife and I are like, "You're seeing this, right?" Yeah. I mean, this isn't Huel.
Yeah,
but it's kind of Huel.
Speaking of Huel, wouldn't it be perfect if there was a black and white scene of him like after Breaking Bad, like on the couch still
on the couch?
It's like riding a bicycle. This is great. That's great.
All right,
good stuff.
Your favorite
minor character? Well, the low-hanging fruit is Mike Ehrmantraut there, because that was a really great scene. It was cool to see him because they don't show his face right away. He's doing the Mike thing. You need 6 stickers, not 5. You're not.
You didn't need to see his face. I heard his voice, and I'm like, "That's Mike."
I was like, I was like, "Oh, whoa, that's Mike. He's here. He's here. He's the employee of the month." good stuff. But actually, if I'm being on, like, if I don't pick somebody who we haven't seen, I want to go with that person who behind the clerk who gave him the $700. It's like, well, you're the one who decided to try them all together. That's a good one. It's like, yeah, it's like, well, aren't they going to jail? It's like, well, yes, but still, yeah, I think that's a great character.
It felt like one of the characters we saw in Breaking Bad that would be like the behind the desk at the doctor's office or at a bank or something, like
Any one of those quirky little one-offs.
Right. Yeah. Or it also kind of felt like character actress Margot Martindale in Dexter.
Yeah, good call.
Just some the behind the desk person that you kind of get a rapport with. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's the money penny of that district. Yeah.
Okay. So
I also would say too is that the guy who actually stands up from one side of the courtroom and actually leads the charge to go to watch with the TV, what's on the. I think that's actually a pretty. I was like, it's the first thing I was like, oh, that's a smart guy to go see what's on the actual TV. Like, what are they actually showing? And then everybody follows him. So that's a minor character right there.
That's a good one. That's a good one. All right. I have two proposals for new categories next. And one isn't necessarily a new category, it's adapting a category. And the other is brand new. So my adapted category, during Breaking Bad, we did the dumbest thing said because we had Jesse Pinkman. Dumbest thing said. Now, some of those went to Saul because Saul has a lot of dumb stuff that he said. But I'm proposing we change this one for Better Call Saul into what's the best Saul one-liner.
Yep. I wrote two things that Saul said anyway. So for this,
So that's what I'm thinking. We need instead of, we don't have, there's the cow house, where the cows live. But we have, it's like Saul has so many like little zingers where he'll reference something, or he'll just like be brutally honest about something, or throw a turn of phrase out there that you're like, only Odenkirk can say that. So the best Saul one-liner of the episode. What do you got?
I have two down. If we were in church right now, I would get a big amen.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. That is a good one. Yeah. I came up with this idea and then I realized, I didn't really write down a lot of that's it. I didn't write down a lot of the good ones, but I've just found my favorite one. There's a couple of them on here. I just went to the quotes page of the episode and there's some great ones. The only way that entire car is worth $500 is if there's a $300 hooker sitting in it.
That's a good one. I definitely laughed at that one.
Or lawyers, we're like health insurance. Hope you never need it, but man, oh man, not having it? No.
Yeah.
It's discreet like a stripper pole in a mosque.
It's discreet. It's a good one. That cooler's looking like a stop ordering bacon. Trichinosis stew.
Or him. And you will atone. It's Ned Beatty from Network.
Yeah.
The other one I had written down was I'm now number one on your speed dial, right next to your weed dealer.
And the guy's like, yeah,
you're not wrong. Oh, see, I'm the rising tide that raises all dinghies.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. I need more stickers. Employee of the month over here. Don't worry about it, guys. I got it. He's like yelling at the cops.
This is going to be fun to track. I'm enjoying this one already. This is it.
Yeah. That's
best Saul one-liners. I'm gonna have too much fun doing that. All right. Brand new category. You ready? The best Breaking Bad reference of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're gonna pop up, and we've got several here. I'm gonna go first because we mentioned some, but there's one that we haven't said yet. It's a very subtle one, but it totally is. Where's Jimmy's office?
Yeah. And
In the back of the back of the nail salon he's trying to sell to Walt and Jesse.
It was empty, wasn't it? Yeah.
That was the nail salon. That was the nail salon.
Wow. Okay.
His business relationship with this nail salon goes back a ways.
Yeah. It's for the customers only. Cucumber water is for customers only. Yeah, okay, that's a great reference because I thought I was like, oh yeah, this is how they launder money eventually. They want to do this. Okay.
But it's the one. That is
the
one.
It's a good one. Okay, that one takes the cake. That one takes it.
And of course, like we've already said, there's Mike, there's Tuco.
Cinnabon,
Omaha.
Yeah.
And of course,
Better Call Saul.
Yep. Better Call Saul. We get that too.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any problems with the episode or anything? I mean, we can't really talk outdated. I mean, we can. I mean, you gather that the prequel part of this takes place in 2001. So we back up. I saw it on the camcorder. The camcorder footage had the date listed as 2001.
Oh, so that's ringtones would be okay.
Yeah. So unless they, never change the date on their camcorder, which understanding those guys, it's a possibility.
Yeah.
But that's what I gathered was it said 2001.
Get rid of outdated. I don't think we need to do outdated. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was some of the fun with Breaking Bad though, is seeing what popped up in there that's like, yeah, you can tell this happened a while ago, but now it's kind of like trying to be intentional because it's filming in 2015 and going back to 2001. It might be worth at least.
When was Network released?
1976.
Broadcast News. When was that one?
86-ish, 80, somewhere in there.
Okay, so that's okay. Referencing a network, that's kind of an obscure reference, even for 2001.
I don't know. Network's a classic, though. Like, that movie.
Never seen it.
Oh, dude. Dude. I know what I'm assigning you next time I win trivia. All right. I don't have anything really to talk about other than talk about the categories.
Yeah.
Midlife crisis moment. We can keep this because I feel like we're watching we're watching a Jimmy McGill midlife crisis moment and a Saul Goodman midlife crisis moment all at the same time.
Correct. And this is where I say quoting network. So it's a midlife crisis moment.
I'm gonna say sitting down with a drink and trying to remember the good old days.
Weeping at your sound of your younger, more successful self.
Mm-hmm. And once again, getting some great Vince Gilligan camera angles.
Mm-hmm.
Like he gets up and you just see the drink rocking on the recliner as he walks away. Like that's just great stuff.
Shot.
It's great stuff. LVP of the episode.
Those two cameramen, those scammers. The only thing the good thing they contributed was the camera angle of like going on, like he's laying on his back. He's like, you gotta make it tight, you understand what I'm saying? You gotta make it around. Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't get it.
How did you find us? I don't know. I just kind of am good with that as they're sitting in a skate park.
Eerie, right?
All right, my LVP. We did do Stickman. Oh, we may have skipped over yours. I said Howard, remember?
Oh, yeah, it's Slippin' Jimmy. Yeah, that's
Slippin' Jimmy.
Yeah, but I also said the three dumb 19-year-old boys, but I didn't like that one. Then when Slippin' Jimmy came up, I was like, that's the one. Yeah.
That's the one. My LVP is Betsy Kettleman. Yeah. Because where was she? Like, he planned this thing out. And like gave them, like, unless they just jumped the gun and literally jumped the gun on the wrong Mercury Sable,
Yeah, so I watched it twice, and the second time I was like, I need to pay attention to like what they say. Like, oh yeah, the license plate starts with 4. The car they jumped on also has a license plate that starts with 4. But I forgot to look at the other numbers of the license plate. So
Yeah, I think they just jumped on the wrong car, but it's like they had this planned out like to the minute, like 2-minute warning, 2-minute warning, and they go and like it's the wrong car. So I don't know. My LVP is, what she decided to stop at the store or something this time, and the wrong car got in the way.
she wanted to sleep on it. Yeah.
What about you? Oh, you said LVP, right?
Yeah, the skateboarder scammers.
Yeah, that's right.
Did this
MVP.
scream payout to you?
MVP.
We're back, baby. Sideshow's back. I'm giving us the MVP. We're doing it.
You're giving us the MVP. Well,
it's the only time it's the only time in like the next year that we'll get it. So
well, yeah, we're gonna be doing this for the next year, one a week. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'll accept that. My MVP was Mike, just because seeing Mike run run the parking lot to the courthouse is
that really? Do we really believe that's his job? That's how he started the game. He didn't know
how he got
Gus
to know
at
him.
this point.
I mean, maybe
that's what his job. How did Gus meet him from that? I don't know. I think the show's going to introduce that. I was like, I think obviously, I think we know Gus is in the show. I think it's a guess anyway. But yeah, I think that's going to be interesting of how many episodes Mike's going to actually be in. So we'll find out.
We'll find out.
But Mike's a good call though.
All right, what's happening next?
Mateo. I don't know.
This is what I wrote down. What's happening next is there will be Ryson put in a burrito while watching a telenovela with the Sweet Hot Honeys.
Sweet Hot Honeys, yeah. And his what is that? His tia. His auntie.
Yeah. Abuelita. This is Abuelita.
Well, that is his grandma, yeah. Abuelita, yeah. Good call. Yeah, it's not Hector's wife there. Yeah. Definitely his grandma.
But yeah, we have another situation where Tuco's got a few guys holed up in a house. How
those skateboarders
we've seen how that goes once. So
skateboarders are dead.
I don't know about that.
Are you kidding? Like they're the worst set of twins in the show. We've had 2 sets of twins now, and they're by far the worst.
Well, I mean, the other 2 were Salamancas, so
it's a significant advantage. Yes, but still. Anyway,
all right. What do you got?
I obviously there's be more callbacks. I think I want to see more trials of him going to court and trying to get those $700 checks. Yeah, I want to see
more
that.
cadaver heads.
Definitely more cadaver. The world can use more cadaver. I also want to see how he comes across the name Saul Goodman. I think that's going to be a good one. And I cannot wait to meet because Todd already said this. One of my draft picks in our draft was Saul Goodman's receptionist lady. What was it like?
Francesca.
Yes, Francesca. So. And she's supposed to be pretty awesome in the show. So when we make
we gotta lose Mrs. Doubtfire at some point.
Yeah, if we're painting the office and the fumes are quite toxic or whatever she says. Yeah, somehow that was still Borat. Anyway, I think the show right now it's interesting. The whole Tuco reveal, I wasn't quite expecting that, but at the same time,
not episode 1.
Yeah, not episode 1. Usually it's the last episode of the season. But episode 1, I think that's pretty dang cool. Because when he pulled that gun, I was like, man, grandma's packing. Nope, it's Tuco. So that was pretty awesome. So we'll see.
I was wondering who was gonna pop his head out. Like, I'm like, there's a gun. Like, this is who's it gonna be? And like, I didn't expect it to be Tuco.
Who did you think it was going to be? Was going to be like you thought it was going to be like a new character?
Yeah, just someone that was going to be, just a new character of some sort. I wonder if they went back and if they would have done it the same way, thinking back on it, because they might look at it and say, yeah, I don't know if we needed to bust out, because you feel like it's one of those, we're busting out Tuco now to remind everybody this is a Breaking Bad show, and we're going to bust out one of your favorite characters on episode 1 so you're hooked. I wonder if they'd go back and be like, yeah, we didn't need to sell out there. It's almost like going back and watching season 1 of Game of Thrones. And how many people watch season 1 of Game of Thrones because of the excessive sex and nudity, right? Like you come for the sex and nudity, you stay for the incredible fantasy story, right? But and then after that, it's like, well, we don't need that anymore because everybody's hooked now. Would they have changed if they knew that everyone's going to get hooked anyways? Like, would they have used Tuco in the final shot of the first episode? Like I could see tossing a 30-second bit part to Mike in the first episode. Like, that makes sense. But to pull out a major plot point with Tuco in your first episode,
what happens if it was like Bill Burr?
See, that's still a Breaking Bad reference though.
But not as big a reference.
But it still is. Give me somebody new. Give me somebody new, and like establish your own thing, and then build into some of these side characters that we love that you want to use later on. I don't know. I'm just trying to critique here and there if I could. But
so you're saying that the first episode's a flaw?
That's my flaw of the first episode. That's my flaw of the first episode.
All right, I can see.
It almost feels like they didn't trust themselves to be making a quality enough show that it could stand on its own merit. So they had to use a trick card to kick it off.
Yeah, if one thing I've learned too, Vince Gilligan is not a good showrunner.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing. Doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. Too. Yeah, we haven't even seen the why even bother? Like, season 5's done already, folks. See you next year, season 6.
There you go. All right. Well, hey,
this is fun. We're back in the saddle.
It feels so good to be back. It feels so good to be back.
I like our new categories. The best Saul one-liners. I think that's rightfully deserving. No dumb things said here. Just the best of dumbness. But I like it a lot. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to more episodes here. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun show. I'm really looking forward to diving back into this world.
And we're back every week. We'll be breaking down a new episode. Shall we wrap this thing up?
Let's do it.
I don't know how we're doing it yet, but there's only one way we can, and that's...
Who are you going to call?
Better Call Saul.
See ya.